Hello and welcome to the Horror Next Door. If you like Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, or just masks in general, would you kindly subscribe? In this video, I will be showing you the new home I got for my prized Jason hockey mask, and sharing the story of why it took so long to get. Which mask in my collection do I consider my prized Jason mask, you may ask? There is a video here on the channel from years ago where I showed it off if you'd like to check it out. But to bring you up to speed, I have a clean Part 3 Jason hockey mask made by Warlock, which I bought long ago specifically to have it autographed. I have every signature from every actor that has portrayed a hockey masked Jason Voorhees. Part 3, Richard Brooker. Part 4, Ted White. Part 5, Tom Morga. Yes, Tom Morga played the imposter Jason, Roy Burns, but he also played Jason in the dream sequence in Part 5, so either one counts in my book. Part 6, CJ Graham. Kane Hodder, who played Jason in Part 7, 8, 9, and 10. Freddy vs. Jason, Ken Kersinger. And Friday the 13th, 2009, Derek Mears. Fun fact, Derek Mears was the last actor to sign his name on this mask. When I handed it to him, he freaked out a little bit and told me how cool it was. He was super psyched about the mask and all of its signatures. So now you know why this is my prized hockey mask. When I watched all the Friday the 13th movies as a kid, I never once thought I would meet any of the actors that played my favorite slasher. Knowing that every hockey mask Jason held this mask in their hands and signed it is a dream come true for me. Sadly, Richard Brooker and Ted White are no longer with us, which makes this mask even more special. This mask has been stored inside of a cardboard box, surrounded by newspaper and covered in a plastic bag. Sad, I know. But honestly, I never really knew what to do with it. I didn't want it displayed like my other Jason hockey masks, mainly because I didn't want it to get dusty. Plus, I didn't want anything bad to happen to it. So, for years and years, it sat inside of its cardboard home, except for the times I would show it to someone. Now it is finally time to give this mask a new home. I'm not sure why this idea randomly came to mind or why I didn't think of it sooner, but one day I thought to get a shadow box for it, and thus the search began. Of course, the first thing I did was a simple online search for a shadow box. To my surprise, there really aren't many websites that offer any, at least good ones. The ones that do, however, are not the size or shape that one would need to house a Jason hockey mask. I then searched for a Friday the 13th shadow box just to see what I could find, and sure enough, I found a website selling shadow boxes made specifically for Jason hockey masks. I was excited, as this is exactly what I was looking for. After a few messages back and forth with the person behind the site, I purchased a shadow box from him with a customization request to have the Friday the 13th logo on the top of the box, since most of the boxes on his website had the logo right on the glass, and I didn't want the logo obstructing the view of my prized hockey mask. When it showed up, I was excited to finally have a home for my prized hockey mask and have it on display. During the wait for the box to arrive, I decided that I would film myself unboxing and setting up the mask within the shadow box so I could make a video here on the channel for you all to enjoy. However, it didn't go as planned. After the initial unboxing, I thought the shadow box looked great. It was well constructed and pretty solid. I was happy with my purchase and eager to see what the box would look like with the mask inside. However, after much frustration and torment, I just could not get the shadow box to close properly. The problem was that the nose of the mask was hitting the glass on the front of the box. Therefore, the backing that the mask was fixed to could not line up with the groove it was supposed to slide into, similar to the back of a picture frame. I reached out to the owner of the website once more to ask what the trick to getting the mask inside the box was, and he did provide a detailed description of how to do so, but it was basically what I was already doing. He also suggested that I force the backing piece into place, but that would essentially bow out the sides of the mask in the process. Although this method would technically work, I didn't find that to be such a great idea. I do not claim to be an expert on masks, but I for one was not willing to risk permanently damaging my mask just for it to fit inside of this box. I reached out once again to voice my frustration with the fact that my Jason hockey mask does not fit inside of a Jason hockey mask shadow box. I even expressed that if the box was about an inch bigger on all sides, that it would be perfect. This received no response. Side note, I just want to add that I think it's possible that some of the smaller hockey masks, for example the Part 7 or Part 9 masks, might fit fine within this shadow box. I never tested it, but it's possible they would be okay. By now you might be asking yourself, why would someone offer a shadow box specifically for Jason hockey masks, but then have the box be barely big enough to fit the mask? I thought the exact same thing, which is why I began to suspect that he didn't make this box custom to fit these masks. So, after much debate on what to do with the box, I decided to reach out to him once again, but this time I asked for a refund. I received the dreaded response, "We do not accept returns." This time I asked if he could make me a new box that was slightly bigger. I was willing to pay return shipping as well as any additional cost and shipping for the new box. I never heard from him again. Back to the drawing board. I started searching again online for someone that could make me a cool shadow box for my mask. This time around I ended up landing on Etsy, where I found someone that made shadow boxes that did appear to be custom. So I reached out and gave them the dimensions of the first box I purchased with an inch or so added on all sides. They said they could make that for me and even charged me less than the box I already purchased. I made my payment and waited. While I was waiting for them to construct and ship my new shadow box, the stores began to put out their Halloween decorations. So naturally, I ended up at Michael's one day to see what they had to offer, which, by the way, the Halloween Fun video for 2023 is up. You should go check it out. Even if you're watching this and it isn't Halloween time, you should check it out anyway. Every day is Halloween. Anyway, while I was there, I decided to look at their shadow box selection. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. $34.99. Says it's 10 inches by 10 inches and it's 4.5 inches deep. Interesting. I am 100% convinced that this is the same as the original box I had purchased, only with Friday the 13th stickers added to it. Just to put things into context for you, and to be completely transparent, the box that I purchased was $125. $34.99, huh? Wow. As you probably have noticed, I have not mentioned the name of the website I purchased this Friday the 13th shadow box from, and I'm not going to mention it. I know they offer many other items on their website besides this shadow box, but if you're looking for something that might fit a smaller mask, your best bet is to just buy this box from Michael's and save yourself the money and time. You could even get some stickers online and decorate it yourself. It's not the first time I've been ripped off, but trying to remain positive, at least I have something to show for it. I still have the box. I've been ripped off by others in the past and have nothing to show for it. I guess it just goes with the territory when it comes to the mask collector world. I'm not too mad about it. It is what it is. I just want everyone watching this to know that you can just go to Michael's and save yourself about $100. Sometime in mid to late August, I received a shipping notification from Etsy and received a tracking number for a UPS shipment on my new shadow box. Things were getting exciting again. Days went by, which turned to weeks, but every time I checked the UPS tracking, it just said that the label had been created and nothing more. I like to think of myself as a very patient person. I waited a good couple of weeks before I reached out to the person through Etsy and asked if there was any update. The person that responded sounded as if they were the seller's wife, stating they had some family issues going on with hospital visits and the like involved. I replied with understanding and told them to take their time. I, for one, am used to ordering handmade things and having them take months to show up. I mean, every Crash Creations mask I have ordered took at least 2 or 3 months before arrival, even longer during busy times. So I get it. A few more weeks went by and the status was the same. I reached out again and was told that the box had been dropped off for shipment the day prior to me reaching out. Fantastic. However, after a few days went by, the tracking never updated. So I then followed up regarding tracking not being updated after 3 days. The response I received was an offer to build me a new box. Isn't it a little odd to make an entirely new box if mine was just mailed 3 days ago? Is it just me, or were things starting to get a little fishy again? Anyway, I accepted the offer for a new box, under the condition that I would not be paying extra, and requested an ETA for shipping, which I was told would be 3 days from when the conversation took place. The box went out 11 days later. I was given a new tracking number, and this one actually had updates, and the box arrived in one piece. To put things into context for you, I placed my order in mid-July and received the box in late October. 3 months from payment to receiving. However, after the offer of making a whole new box, it was 2 weeks from conversation to having the box in my hands. Again, I am not going to mention the name of the seller I purchased this box from. Perhaps they did have some kind of family issues or something going on that delayed things. I get it. But the way things were communicated and how everything went down all seems a bit strange for my liking. And I do not want to send anyone watching this into a situation where they might get scammed. Despite everything, the box turned out pretty well constructed and looks great. I was thinking with my luck after all of this, the box would show up with broken glass or something, but luckily it did not. I must admit they did a great job on this box. After trying to get the mask to stay snug on the foam backing and not having much luck, I did some thinking and decided to fix the straps of the mask pretty much permanently to the foam with an overkill amount of pins. This thing isn't going anywhere. If I were to ever need to remove the mask from this box, hopefully to one day get another signature, all I would have to do is unsnap the mask from the straps and I'm good to go. This method also makes putting the mask back into the box as easy as just snapping the straps back on. Removing the mask along with the straps every single time would have been a huge hassle when placing the mask back inside the box, not to mention the nightmare of trying to get the mask to be straight. I recommend this method of permanently fixing the straps, but of course it would only apply to hockey masks with removable straps. So there it is, finally. My prized hockey mask now has a new home and is looking like a superstar inside its fancy new shadow box. You might be wondering, what am I going to do with the first shadow box? Well, I actually have an idea of what I could do with it, but that would be a different video at a later date. So stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed. Until next time.